How's it going, everybody? And welcome back to some more Minish Cap. Today we are going to be making our way towards the floating temple, which I don't remember what it's called, but to start off with, I'm going to collect these, I think they're called joy butterflies, and they give you some nice abilities. One of them allows you to swim faster, another allows you to dig faster, and then another allows you to shoot arrows faster. So, when you're trying to kill those speedy enemies with the arrows, you can now just not let the ghost lick you to death. You can just spam arrows non-stop and then win, you know? So I'm pretty excited about these joy butterflies because they're little upgrades, but they can pack a powerful punch, you know? Anyways, that's pretty much the last super important thing we get from the graveyard. There are going to be some chests that we can get there later on, but I think they contain only rupees and seashells, so nothing too spectacular, but it's there, the chest's there if you need it, if you ever run low on seashells, rupees, whichever it's going to end up being. I don't remember exactly. And I guess I already took care of this tingle, so... Oh yeah, I did. What am I doing? I should be getting the light arrows today, because we will be heading up to the, I can't remember what it's called. Oh, I'll know it soon enough. Because I last played this, a few days ago. And I'm just now doing the, co-commentary. Or, not post-commentary. Goodness gracious. I'm just super hyped up at the moment. I just ate a bodacious dinner, and still a little in love from the food, but I'll be fine. As you can see there, that joy butterfly allows us to dig faster. So whenever it comes to digging, I'll be able to dig faster. And it's not super useful. And this one's more useful personally, in my opinion. Shooting arrows. So now that those are out of the way, I can actually get another skill. And there's a few things left to do in town, but for the most part, a lot of the main stuff is out of the way. Like, we can actually get the heart piece from getting all the figurines, because that's gonna be a little while yet. But we will be able to access the phonograph, or however you say it, at some point, which it's nice for playing music, I guess. Back in this game's day, if you didn't have the soundtrack on DVD or CD, you could always just go to the little store, or whatever it's supposed to be. I'm not sure if it's like a storage room or what it is, but you could go there and you can listen to all the tracks in the game, and there's a heart piece there as well. I don't know if there's anything else there or not. There might be, but we can take care of this gold rope now, and he'll drop us, I think that's 100, so pretty good deal. And now that we have the torch, we can light the 2 flames that are going to be in this next room. And I think this guy's going to teach us... Oh, my bad, this is the wrong guy. But we will be getting the sword beam, I believe. Might be from this cave. Can't remember exactly where that is. Or maybe I'm thinking of another video, I don't know. I don't think that guy has any more Kinstone Fusions, but just double check there. Okay, so he doesn't. I do like that getting towards the end of the game, we're kind of closing up all the loose Kinstone Fusions all over the place. There is going to be a few stragglers here and there, which I'm going to do my best to find them all. I don't think I've mismarked any so far in any of the timestamps or anything, so hopefully things work out that I've caught everything. If not, I will try and figure out a way to set things right with the videos. And made a little mistake here. I shouldn't have swam over to this side, but it's alright because I got to figure it out. There are a few sword upgrades going on. Like, you can get the ability to get your I don't know what the gauge is called, but your multiplication, we'll just call it the multiplication gauge at the moment, that allows you to split into different copies faster. That is one of the upgrades you can get. There's also a faster spin attack upgrade, and there is the spin attack upgrade, which is like a hurricane spin. I think those are all of the upgrades, though, if I'm not mistaken, in terms of the sword abilities. There's not really any sort of defense ups in this game. There is a little potion you can take that'll increase your defense ups, but aside from that, there's nothing permanent. This is the split gauge. I guess it's called the split. That makes sense because you're splitting into different copies. But now we'll be able to fill it up faster after this, which is, I can't really see any super useful times for it. But I guess to remove tediousness, it's nice to have. So we have it. Pretty cool. Not sure why that guy lives in a cave. It's a little strange, but you know, he can do what he wants to do. That last little portion of the map there is going to be used for the cloud place, which I don't know what it's called. I had the name, but I can't think of it now. I don't think it's a cloud tops, is it? Might be. I don't know. But it's not really tricky to get there. We just need that gold Kinstone piece that we got from the graveyard in the previous video. And then we just need to find the Vale Falls door. And always make sure that you have a fairy on hand, at least one, and then maybe some other way to recover your hearts, because if you don't and you end up dying late in the temple, and you're not in the Switch version, you're going to have to backtrack, and that's going to be a bit of a pain in the butt, depending on where you are. Alternatively, if you are in the Switch version, you could always just, you know, rewind and get things done that way. There's a few times that, excuse me, a few times in this playthrough where I have really wanted to, use the rewind feature, but I've held myself back because I want this to be as traditional as possible to the original. Now, there were times with the Oracle games where I used the rewind feature and I don't care that I did, because those games are pretty difficult. Like, the older Zelda games were really difficult, and it's strange because the Oracle games came out after Ocarina of Time, and they're far more difficult than Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, so the challenge is definitely there with those games. I love those games. In fact, I would probably say the Oracle games are in my top 5 Zelda games. I don't know that I can necessarily place one over the other. I would say they're even, but they're definitely up there in my top 5, maybe even top 3. I would have to think about that, but I really love those games, and I think I might be doing one more playthrough of them. I think I'm going to be doing the, the Linked Ages playthrough. That's the only one I really need to do yet. So that might be coming up on the channel, not after this game, because after this Zelda game, I think I'm going with A Link to the Past, the Game Boy Advance version, which I'll be playing on the Switch. Originally, I was going to do that on the GameCube, because I bought the GameCube player. But the copy I got was supposed to be brand new, but the CD just, it looked crumpled up. Something wasn't right with it, so had to get rid of that. But now that the Switch version's out, it's pretty nice to have. You guys may have noticed that I did the Four Swords video with Cody, so I will have access to the Palace of the Four Swords. As for the Hurricane Spin, that's gonna be, I'm gonna try to do it during the playthrough. I have to grind with Cody, probably the Ice World in that game a few times, just to get more medals. Cause I don't know, I wasn't doing the greatest for that game, but who knows? Maybe I'll have some improvements later on, and things will go smoothly, hopefully. And I think this is our last wind crest, so our last ability to warp is going to be for this area. And it's pretty exciting. So, actually, you know, this is kind of dumb. Why is the wind crest here, not in the cloud tops area? I mean, yes, we are somewhat close to the top, but I don't know. This feels like a strange spot for it to be. Just on Vale Falls, of all places, you know? I don't know. To me, that seems a little strange. But, you know, it's endgame, so I guess it kind of makes sense considering it's only like, what, 3 or 4 screens away, so it's not terrible. So this is a cool little feature. You can take this whirlwind up, and this takes us to the cloud tops. And this area is actually pretty exciting. So I thought this guy would be the one that wakes the Goron up. Or this girl, excuse me, her name's Haley. But she doesn't, so I don't remember where the fusion is that wakes the Goron up. I'm assuming it's around this area somewhere, maybe. Otherwise, the main objective of the cloud tops is to be getting all the gold Kinstone pieces. So there's a lot of fusions up here. I think there's 5 of them. And maybe some of the people up... Oh, I guess this lady does have one. Fortunately, I believe I have all the pieces for everyone up here, so that's nice to get them all out of the way and not have to backtrack here. So always make sure that you're stocked up on Kinstone pieces, because if you're not, you're gonna have to backtrack, which is kind of unfortunate sometimes, especially when they're far off into the areas. So always make sure you come prepared. So now we get a fun little sequence where we're going to be traversing up into the higher clouds and then back down to the lower clouds. And this is kind of where some of the digging upgrade is going to come in useful, because there's a lot of clouds here. And from what I recall, there is maybe 1 hidden treasure chest in all the clouds. Excuse me. All in all, this area is not too difficult. Although, I would recommend that you go as far as you can, getting all the Kinstone pieces, and then just kind of backtrack. It's a little easy to get lost, but for the most part, it shouldn't take you too long to get through this part. Like, I think I did so in 20 minutes or so, going off the video length. Just kind of cheating, but it is what it is. One thing that I kind of wish these 2D games did have was some sort of mini-map function. Like, just using your regular map even would have been cool if they gave you some way of navigating these areas a bit better. I mean, we do have the dungeon maps, but personally I think they could have done something a little bit better with the overworld. Just, you know, some way to navigate each screen properly. I think A Link to the Past kind of had the right idea. But more so like a combination of A Link to the Past and the Oracle games, I guess, using the like tile by tile thing. I think that might have been a bit more useful versus what we have now, because this game's map is probably, honestly, probably one of the worst maps, overworld maps, I should say, in all of the Zelda games. It's just, it's a little horrendous, especially for a 2D game. It's something else. When you see the cloud there like that, and there's 2 sharks here, it means you need to kill the sharks, and then you'll get yourself a nice little Kinstone piece, which is not the most exciting thing in the world, but it is something that we get to look forward to, because it means progress. And what does progress mean? Progress means we're gonna make it somewhere. And I keep getting a lot of these remote bombs, although I am probably never ever gonna need as many as it gives me. But you know what? It's always nice to have some. So there's these little, I guess these are supposed to be like clouds on top of clouds that are, for some reason, really hard to break into. So you can use the digging mitts. I don't think... I think there's one chest hidden in like all of these, and that's it. So you can dig if you want to. You can leave your friends behind. I'm just kidding. So you don't really need to dig through them. There's nothing in them that's going to be required for 100% completion. It's just do what you feel. If you don't feel like digging, don't dig. So it is what it is. I think these are guys from the Mario series. What you do to defeat them is use the, not the arrows, as you see there. Use the gust jar, and you can suck up their cloud, which is an interesting way to kill them, because then you, well, it doesn't kill them, it just sucks up the cloud, and then you still have to slash them. But I think this is maybe one of the only ones in the game. But then you just hit him while he's down, which is a little unfortunate, but you know, he deserved it because he was trying to kill Link. And that's not the correct piece for that spot. But we do have a Kinstone piece, we just gotta figure out where it goes. And we'll continue traversing our way through these clouds, and if you fall, it doesn't bring you back down to the lower cloud or the higher cloud. Well, the higher cloud would make sense, but if you're on the second level of the clouds, which I am, it doesn't drop you down back to the lower clouds. As a matter of fact, you can't even see them, which is interesting. So it's strange, but you don't fall down to them. You just fall to your demise and take a heart for some reason. I don't know what happened to the other clouds. They evidently disappeared. Alright, so that's about all the excitement chest-wise we're going to get for this area. Now, it's mostly just going to be collecting Kinstone pieces and finishing up what we all got. Now, there's this one, and then there's two more after this, I believe. Let's take a little look. My bad, there's three more after this. So that means we need to find two more Kinstone pieces. Now, the first thing, or the final one, is going to be right off by that lady at the start. That's going to be our final fusion piece. The following two are just along here in this upper cloud area, I believe. Or is this lower? I keep forgetting. I don't think I get that treasure chest, if I'm not mistaken. There's one of the chests that I skip out on, because I'm pretty sure it's not required for 100% completion. If it is, I'll come back to it. But if not, I'm not going to come back to it. I'm just at a point in the game where the seashells are going to be easily accessible. Although you don't want to go up, like, getting them up to 999 and then never using them and continuing to collect seashells, because that's a huge waste. So make sure you're spending your seashells. I know I always say this in like every video now, but make sure you're doing so, just because you don't want to have to like collect every seashell, or you have to collect extra seashells, you know? Just spend them, get them, spend them, get them. Don't ever waste a seashell. I think you have to beat these guys, because I believe there's a cloud up here. Oh no, I guess not. Alright, then don't defeat them. I'll put this piece in place. So, I'm curious, if anyone's watching this far, what is the story behind the pinwheels? Like, it leads up to the, like, higher cloud place, but we do have the teleporting thing down to the ground, so is this just sort of proving to the cloud people that Link is capable of handling such an adventure, and that's the reason why they let him, like, up to the higher floors, versus if you try to come here, like, through the temple itself, they don't let you? Because Link needs to prove himself? I don't know. I'm assuming it's just for like a challenge to prove something, but I think Link's probably proved enough by this point in the game that people just need to be like, step aside, it's Link, he's gonna take care of everything. I don't know. It is what it is. That's all I got to say in the matter. Is what it is. Another chest. And you guess what it's gonna be? Seashells. Then we'll continue making our way across. I like this area. I know I'm kind of complaining a little bit about it, but I really like this area. My first playthrough of this game, I played through on the 3DS with the Ambassador Program thing. I wasn't too fond of this area, but coming back to it a few years later, because I think I was around 18 or so when I finally got around to getting into this area. I'm currently 24, so I'm growing my appreciation maybe a little bit later than most people do, but I'm still really liking it. You know, it's grown on me. We don't see too many cloud spots in the early Zelda games, so it's good the clouds got their time to shine, you know? So I'll put this piece in place, and there's going to be one more Kinstone piece we're going to need to pick up. For some reason, I can't just use the Gust Jar. I keep wanting to call it the Gust Bellows, but that's from Skyward Sword. For some reason, you can't just use the Gust Jar's puff of air to get the Pinwheel going. Just strange. Because I thought it was like a magic jar, but maybe not. Maybe it's just some random jar that some dude left in the temple. I don't know. Not sure I want to know. I think this might be where I started backtracking towards the front, which we'll see. I need to figure this out. Anyways, we are getting closer to the next temple. There's going to be a lot of jumping involved, so if you're not good at platforming like me, you're probably going to struggle a little bit. But that's okay, because we're all on this together, you know? We're going to get through this game, and it's going to be fun. Hopefully. Although it is a little easy to get lost. That's why we have dungeon maps. So I'm not entirely sure how you get that chest up there. Kind of looks like... Oh, it must be from that little whirlwind right there. Alright. Oh no, it's from this one. What the heck? Now I can start backtracking to the front. I don't know. Why did I think this was a different chest? I don't know. And it's interesting how these clouds must perfectly align underneath. Like, this does not look like it aligns perfectly underneath, but evidently it does. So now it's just a matter of figuring out how to get back to the starting area. Although you might be able to save and quit to restart this cloud top area. I'm assuming it spawns you right at the entrance to where we came up from. So maybe that's like a speedrunning tactic? I don't know. Notice in this area there's only one shark and there's no mini cloud thing, so you don't need to take care of them. I mean, for some reason the clouds up here, or the sharks up here really like clouds, so you just leave them to it. One of the things I was thinking of though, I know this is kind of random, I do say a lot of random stuff, but it's alright. I think it'd be cool if there was like a mod that lets you play without Link's hat. I think that'd be pretty cool. And then when he comes to these jump parts with as low, you just fly around with your hands up in the air. That'd be humorous. Curious, is there a mod that does that? Some sort of ROM hack? Whatever the term may be. I don't know. But it's time for Connor being lost. Can Connor figure out the way home? Who knows? I think this is maybe where I was backtracking incorrectly. But we'll see. Looks like I might have gotten it figured out. I do really like the flying mechanic of using Eslo. The flying in Zelda games is really cool. Like, I guess airborne traversal is really cool. Like using the double claw shots, I should say, to fight, what is it, Argarok in Twilight Princess. I thought that was really cool. I did like the pirate ship too. Just kind of going around all over, fighting all over that ship was really cool. Pirate ships and clouds are, I think, something Zelda needs to maybe use a little bit more in terms of main dungeons. I know in the Oracle games you have the pirate ship, but I don't think that's like a lot of stuff that happens there. Okay, I guess I was wrong. Maybe they were stuck from the clouds and couldn't use that orb on the surface, but maybe they didn't know about it. Only explanation I can think of. So we're gonna eat it up. I guess there was one crest up here. My bad. So that's the final one crest. And our final, like, main area, I suppose. I really like this area, you know? The pinwheels are pretty cool. It's an enjoyable area. I like the clouds. Pretty dope. And one final thing to get down here. I believe this is the, yeah, it is the final heart piece. Not the final heart piece. We still have, like, 8 to go. One thing you might be like, 8 to go? Don't you mean 12 more? No, I don't. I mean 8. So, for the final 8, and you might be wondering why is it only 8 and not 12, there's going to be a guy that gives us a full heart container, and the final boss, or not the final boss, but the final, like, elemental boss will give us the last heart container. So that's 2 there. And then it's just going to be the remaining 8 pieces. I think it's a Minish that gives us the final heart, or the final side heart container, however you want to phrase it. For some reason, the people up on the clouds couldn't use this crystal. I don't know why. And I think the front door is locked. Originally, maybe? Because I don't think we could escape when we used the crystal before. But the reason that we had access to the crystal was to get the light arrows. So if you didn't do the light arrow quest, you won't be able to get the light arrows. Because the guy dies, I guess, which is very unfortunate, but it is what it is. And now this Tektite's gonna get a little friend called a treasure chest. And this dude is relentlessly drawing his head. Now, as to why this guy, excuse me, has light arrows, I don't understand. If there's any sort of significance as to who this guy is supposed to be and why he has access to, like, something as powerful as light arrows, please let me know, because I'd like to hear his story. I'm interested in Zelda lore. Like, I know there's some theories about the Shadow Temple and Ocarina of Time and whatnot, bottom of the well. A lot of interesting Zelda theories, but I haven't really heard too much about Minish Cap theories, so curious if there's anything, like any juicy theories going around about how the light arrows work or whatnot. So, next video will be the final temple of the game. And then after that, I'm thinking it might be the final collection video. I think there might be... Excuse me. There might be some figurines that you can only get after you enter the final dungeon, which is after this dungeon, but it doesn't give us our container for the final boss. You might have to enter the dungeon first, like the Dark Hyrule Castle, spoiler alert, and then you get the figurines that way, because you have to like enter the area for the figurines to unlock. I don't know what this tree's for, or this little passage for. It might be something that comes up later on. So, probably one final collection video after this one, and then probably just the final video, I'm thinking. But we'll see. So to get this guy to move, all we gotta do is talk to this elder person, and they're gonna give us permission. So he just gave us permission to the roof, which is very nice, because now we can enter the final dungeon, or the final temple, get the final element. Very exciting. To some. I know there's a lot of people that don't like this temple, but for the most part, I really like it. It's pretty cool. Not as good as City in the Sky, but it's cool. And unfortunately for this kid, we are going to be stealing that item in the next video, so he will never ever get to fulfill his dreams, unfortunately. But that's just the way Link is, ruining kids' dreams since 1988 or something? And I think this is the final thing, or fusion thing, whatever you want to call it, that ends up in the Royal Valley. So after we get those two chests, I don't think there's anything else that's going to appear in there, aside from maybe a gold monster. But yeah, next video is going to be us going into the temple. I want to thank you guys all for watching, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.